You are running out of time and acting like you're not. Key scripture. Psalm 90 verse 12. You woke up this morning like you had a guarantee. Like the alarm going off was just another ordinary Tuesday and not the one thing standing between you and the last day you will ever see. And I'm not saying this to be dark. I'm saying it because the way you live suggests that death is something that happens to other people. It doesn't. Psalm 90 verse 12. Teach us to number our days, that we may gain a heart of wisdom. Moses is asking God to teach him to count his days. Not because Moses was morbid, because Moses understood something most of us refuse to. The awareness of your death is what gives your life weight. It is what makes your choices matter. Today, we are going to number our days together, and it is going to change how you see everything. Section 1. The illusion of infinite time. Human beings are wired to act as though they have unlimited time. Psychologists call it mortality salience. The more we are reminded of death, the differently we behave. The more we suppress it, the more we drift. And we are extraordinarily good at suppressing it. We build retirement plans for decades away. We say, one day I'll. We start sentences with someday when. We have a future version of ourselves who is braver, healthier, more obedient, and we keep pushing the arrival of that version forward. But statistics don't care about your plans. The average human lives about 27,375 days. If you are 30 years old, you have already spent roughly 10,950 of them. If you have been spending them the way most people do, distracted, comfortable, half asleep, do the math on what remains. Not to cause despair, to cause urgency. James 4 verse 14. You do not even know what will happen tomorrow. What is your life? You are a mist that appears for a little while and then vanishes. A mist, not a monument, not a legacy that's already secure. A mist, here then gone. And the question is, what are you doing with the mist? Section 2. What wasted time actually looks like. Wasted time rarely feels like waste in the moment. That is what makes it so insidious. Watching 4 hours of content every night doesn't feel like wasting your life. It feels like relaxing. Staying in a relationship you know is wrong doesn't feel like losing years. It feels like being loyal. Waiting for the right moment to obey. God doesn't feel like disobedience, it feels like wisdom. But look at the cost. 4 hours a night is 1,460 hours a year. That is 60 full days of your life, every single year, spent on content you won't remember and that contributed nothing to who you are becoming. Over a decade, that is 600 days. 1.5 years. This is not about guilt. This is about honesty. Because you cannot redeem time you refuse to look at honestly. The servant who buried his talent in Matthew 25 was not lazy in the obvious sense. He did not squander the money on parties and pleasures. He was cautious, he was afraid. He made the safe choice. And at the end, the master called that wasted time and wasted potential, and took even what the servant had. Fear is the most common way people waste their lives. Not pleasure. Fear. Section 3. The things you will regret. Bronnie Ware is a palliative care nurse who spent years working with people in the last 12 weeks of their lives. She recorded the most common regrets of the dying. And not one of them wished they had watched more television. Not one of them said they wished they had played it safer. The most common regret. I wish I'd had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me. The second most common. I wish I hadn't worked so hard. Not worked hard at the wrong things. Worked hard at things that didn't matter while neglecting things that did. The third. I wish I'd had the courage to express my feelings. Courage. 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 The thread connecting every regret is the absence of courage. And courage costs nothing but the comfort of safety. Ecclesiastes 12 verse 13 to 14. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the duty of all mankind. For God will bring every deed into judgment. Every deed, not just the big ones. The small, daily, accumulated choices of how you spent your hours. Those will be brought into the light. Not to condemn you, but the knowledge that they will be seen should shape how you live them. Section 4. How to live like time is finite. Numbering your days is a practice, not a feeling. It requires intentionality in a world designed to keep you distracted. Start by defining what matters. If you had 1 year left, what would you spend it on? Not what you should say, what would you actually spend it on? That answer is clarifying, because the things you would do with 1 year are probably the things you should be doing with every year. Audit your time brutally. For 1 week, write down how you spent every hour. Not to punish yourself, to see yourself clearly. Most people are shocked by what they find. The gap between the life they think they're living and the life they're actually living is enormous. Build a stop-doing list alongside your to-do list. Wisdom is not just adding good things, it's subtracting the things that are consuming your limited hours without producing anything of value. And anchor every week in the one priority that outlasts time. Matthew 6 verse 33. But seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. Not second, not when you have time. First, because everything else rearranges around that priority. Closing. Here is the question that should follow you out of this video. If you knew you had exactly 1 year left, would you live differently than you are living today? Be honest. If the answer is yes, that is not a trivial observation. That is the distance between the life you are living and the life you know you should be living. Psalm 90 verse 12 says to number your days. Not to be morbid, not to live in fear, but to live with weight, with intention, with the kind of urgency that comes from understanding that every day is unrepeatable. You will not get today back. You will not get this moment back. The only thing you can control is what you do with what remains. Make it matter. Share this with someone who needs to feel the weight of their time. And come back for the next one. We are not done yet.